Dear Linux people, like, why the fuck are you like this? Like, you always complain about how there's not enough app support. You're like, we need more people to switch to Linux, and to do that, we need the Adobe suite. And then you petition Adobe to bring their suite to Linux, and then they say, well, it's a tiny sliver of the market, and we don't think most of you would even buy our product anyway. We're not going to develop for an entire new operating system just to satisfy like 1% of potential customers. And that's a really, really reasonable position. It's an economical decision. And you guys counter, you're like, just release your source code, as though that's a sane business move for anyone. You guys tend to do this thing where you fight against your own success. You'll create hundreds, if not thousands, of Linux distros, and you'll complain about how there's not app support. The whole benefit of Linux, one of the benefits, is that the kernel is monolithic, that the whole system is monolithic. You can take parts out, put parts in, and that's a great thing. And because you can do that, if you don't like something about a system, you should just get rid of that part. Just replace that part, not make an entirely new distro. You guys should focus on just a few distros and make those as good as possible, and then put all your money towards apps, towards really good open source apps. If you want people to use open source, that's what you got to do. Yeah, and then you complain that there's no app support. What you guys should do is you should focus on a few distros, say Ubuntu, Pop! OS, Debian, Arch, and Manjaro. Everybody likes at least one of those systems. I mean, even the Arch people respect Debian, and that's saying a lot because the Arch people are a fucking nightmare. So if you focused on those 5 and making those systems really good, and then focused all your attention on apps, you could have done some really great things. Like, look at Blender. Blender was shit 5 or 10 years ago, and once the community decided that that was an open source app, that was the open source app, that was the free software app to work on, Blender became the industry standard in a reasonable amount of time. And if you guys did that with other apps, if you looked at, say, Krita or Kdenlive, and you said, let's focus all our energy on this and make this the best video editing, the best photo editing, the best whatever app in the world, and focused your energy on that instead of making obscure Linux distributions that don't really add anything, you people could have actually gotten what you want. But the problem is, you guys don't do that. You're really goddamn unreasonable. You're not even working towards your own success. People have to learn how to prioritize.